right, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for being here tonight for September 16th Village Council meeting. We'll start with Pastor Steve Ayers with Lifeline Connected Prayer.
Let's pray. Lord, again, we just thank you for your love and your grace, and I continue to pray for our leaders of our village, that you give them guidance and wisdom. Lord, I pray that they realize that you are real and alive and working in their lives and working in the village. Let us submit ourselves to following you each and every day of our lives. I just thank you and I praise you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Steve. Roll call, Cheryl.
Bailey?
Here.
Bassett?
Here.
Beverly?
Here.
Miller?
Here.
Martin?
Here.
Egley? Here.
Thank you. First order of business, we have a guest here tonight. Bob Weatherhead would like to come, I believe, and speak about a proposal at the park.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you guys for seeing me. I won't keep you long. Just want to talk about a proposal for the tennis courts down there and a potential plan to convert a couple of them to pickleball courts, the fastest growing sport from ages 20 to 80. I mean, that's taken over the world, actually. So if I could, I'd like to pass out. I don't know that I have enough. I want to just pass them around. What's the rest of them?
Sure.
What's that?
She's got one.
That first page is just going to show you what Hicksville's courts are right now. The 3 tennis courts. They are lined for pickleball also, but you play on a tennis net, which isn't official, and this has to be altered to get to the right height for pickleball. Right now, there's probably a dozen down there playing. We've had a group playing for 2 weeks now, or 2 months rather, on Monday nights. And I know former Mayor Collins has a group that plays too. I don't know the last time I've seen anybody play tennis on these tennis courts, to be honest. So my proposal, if you look at the first few pages are just ours, and then Brian, what they did with their 3 courts, what Defiance did with their 3 courts. And then that final page is kind of a picture of what could look like the 4 courts could look like, but without, my proposal is to do away with tennis nets basically on the first 2 courts and remain a tennis court on the 3rd court. So we're not taking away all the tennis courts. So that bottom of that picture would be what the vision would be. The issue, one of the issues might be we have to pay to the fences to make this work. In other words, we can't just resurface what we have there. Again, this is a proposal. I appreciate you guys just entertaining this idea. We're playing right now, so it's not like it's stopping us from playing, but I believe this could be a kind of a cool asset for the park and attract more players to come, because I don't know that Edgerton has them. Antwerp does have a court. I go down there and play on Tuesday nights. They have a big club also that plays. I'm sure they would migrate this way too if we had sufficient courts. So the plan is to pave to the fences, convert 2 tennis courts to 4 pickleball courts, leave the 3rd as a tennis court. Maybe, and some of these things are wish list items, right? I mean, not must-haves, but with low divider fencing between the courts would help. Brighter lighting. I've walked all 3, the volleyball, basketball, and the tennis court, and that lighting it looks like to be new LED, but it's not very bright. If there's to be play in the evenings, and then maybe some benches, covered benches would be really cool. But that's just a proposal. I've looked at other courts in the area, Brian and Defiance, and they're really sharp, and they have clubs. We don't have an official club yet, but we have pretty consistent people coming out on Monday nights. We would increase that, I'm sure, but again, I appreciate you guys just listening to this and considering it down the road. I think the courts now need resurfaced, actually, if you go down and check it out. Again, I appreciate Mayor Barth for giving me some direction, and Kat, too, for talking to me about this. Open to any questions that you guys might have. Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why I mean, you're looking at Defiance and Bryan, they keep a tennis court. Is there a reason why?
Yeah,
you're thinking about
so
keeping
Bryan and
one, or-
Defiance both have tennis facilities at their high school or at another park.
Okay.
We would be, I didn't really feel like it was right to remove all the tennis courts. If somebody wanted to play tennis, you still could, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
And we could still line those for pickleball, don't get me wrong, we would take that over too, I'm sure. But it would be there for tennis. And those towns have other options for tennis, that's why they were able to convert all 3 to 6 pickleball courts.
Have you noticed when you've been down there that people have to wait to get a court?
The only time that I've noticed that was on our Monday nights, when we had like 16 show one night instead of just 12 that it takes to fill the 3 courts.
Yeah.
So, short wait, we shortened the games to 7 instead of 11, so people aren't waiting very long to play. Antwerp does the same thing, they're overcrowded down there too. So,
I took a walk down there, saw the courts, the condition. I haven't been down there in a while, just walked it, and I know there's a lot of cracks forming. I think it was resurfaced, I talked about real quick. I can't remember how many years ago.
mhm.
It's kind of salty to just do a grinding and then resurface. I think the cracks are getting deeper and deeper as time goes by. Is it asphalt, I think it is, I'm not sure. but,
Yeah, every missed shot I have is blamed on those lines.
Drip hazard.
Hey, one other thing, I mean, the fence down there is really nice. That black fence you guys put up is really nice. I mean,
Sure.
that'd be ideal all the way around, but again, wish list type stuff, so.
Corey, you got a grant for that, didn't you?
Yes,
The fence?
Yeah.
20 sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any way this thing can make money for the village to pay for its own stuff?
Probably like volleyball and basketball, probably not. I mean, I would see a tournament hosted. I would see people coming from, out of town. And, I go to the Oasis on Tuesday nights after, so I am kind of patronizing some of the Antwerp stuff down there when I go to play. And I know other people do too.
Oh yeah, they got good food there.
We just worked out, man. We gotta justify that. But yeah, I don't see it as a revenue generator.
I was just throwing this out there. I talked to Corey a little bit, but if there's a way to, resurface the court, maybe end up with 3 pickleball courts, or, keep what we have, but maybe interchanging the nets. I know you have to lower the nets somehow, and I think you're utilizing some, maybe not have this type of cost with the 4, but I guess upgrading what the pickleball courts that we currently have, if that was feasible, with some things.
Does anybody know if there's a nationwide organization for pickleball yet?
There is.
Do you know if they have grants yet, or, I mean, as
They
members
have.
continue to join and sponsors come in, money's gonna become available.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So,
I will say, when I go down to the park, it is used quite frequently. I mean, I know we had to move the volleyball courts, that's why they got new ones, but it's used way more often than the volleyball courts. I would like to at least, I don't even know if it's possible. Corey, is it possible to put pickleball nets on there or no?
I'm sure it is.
Didn't you just get a bunch of new nets? Or was that on the, someplace else?
One option, if we, weren't able to do this, would be to get the adjustable nets, where it's, right now, they're wound up for tennis. And you gotta crunch them down to get them to pickleball height. But if they were something made for both, where you could just crank it down to pickleball height, crank it back up for tennis, something like that could work, and we would still have the 3 courts that we have. Yeah, it's great that they're lined, appreciate that.
I would like to see us at least try to do that. I know, Corey, you've talked before, your budget for next year is pretty much set. And unfortunately, this wasn't included in that budget timeframe. But with it being utilized that much, I would like to see us maybe invest some money in it in the future.
we'll at least get pricing,
Yeah.
see what it's gonna cost.
And the nets is kind of an easy thing. I mean, eventually down the road, maybe we can talk about what it would look like.
Yeah. I mean,
Talk on it.
this village is great, we can create somebody can do a fundraiser, and I'm sure people are gonna start contributing to it.
I know we talked about with age demographics with the park, there's not a lot of things that the older, I'm gonna say, mature generation can participate in.
50 and up.
50 and
So
up.
kind.
Be careful how you say that there.
Mike, I'll tell you, we have 20-year-olds up to high 60s playing right now down there on Monday nights. Yeah. But the majority is mature.
You keep an ambulance or anything down there?
We probably should AED down there.
So, anybody have any questions for Bob or anything else want to be added? We'll take a look at some thoughts and.
Sounds like you got some good thoughts, Bob. Just, we'll have to get some numbers around.
Appreciate your time, everybody.
The asphalt's
Thanks so
gonna be
much.
the most expensive thing you're gonna do, so
Yeah.
that would be the key, is to get a price for that. And you're gonna be looking at next year before it happens, so.
Sure.
Maybe it could be done at the same time as a parking lot, depending on how
Sure.
everything pans out with the pool.
Completely different material,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
for your
Bob.
help,
Appreciate it.
everybody.
Yep. Have a good
Appreciate it.
evening. Approval of September 3rd regular council meeting minutes are in your packet. Any questions, concerns?
Make a motion to approve as written.
Second.
Roll call.
Miller,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Egley,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes.
Bassett.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Approval of bills list in your packet.
Corey, for Home Break, is that the final?
That is their final. I do believe there's some money yet for retainage. But yeah, that would be their final big one.
And punch list has been gone through and everything's done and everybody's happy, and
Yep.
same thing with Bauman for the water tower.
Yes.
Everybody's happy, it looks good back there, they're doing a nice job.
Yep.
Okay, the last one, Borderline, 15,465, where was all that work taking place at?
We had a couple panels behind the Palace Pizza here that
Mhm.
he tore out, replaced those. The sidewalk and that approach in front of our building
Mhm.
got done, and that's all 8 inches out there. And then South Main and Hicks Street, so approaches down here. The lady was having her whole sidewalk done on her corner lot. This is, we're responsible for the approaches that was included with that as well.
Good quality work, we don't have to argue with many people or citizens or nothing.
No, but I mean, our sidewalk in front of our building was out of compliance, so you know how that goes. We need to get that up to speed.
Fair amount of money, but I guess we gotta do it. Those are the only questions I had. If nobody else has anything, let's pay the bills.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Bailey,
Yes.
Egley. Yes. Bassett.
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Beverly.
Yep.
Thank you. Boards and commissions. What is it? Yeah, we can. You wanna bring it up now?
On September 10th, we had a nuisance board hearing. We had the owners of the Citgo gas station in. Ran through the hearing, let them know that what they needed to do in order to be within compliance. One would be a complete remodel of that car wash or demo of the car wash. We set a date of November 10th for everything to be done. And later that day, they came back to us and they had decided to go ahead and demo that building. So if you guys have went past there and seen it, but they're in the process of demoing that. All the concrete will come out, all the infrastructure underground there will come out. Their sanitary lines will all be capped off and they'll backfill all with stone. So that was our first one. We do have a couple other properties that we're gonna run through a hearing as well. And they're outside structures, and not homes, but outside structures that need to be addressed.
Any questions? I want to thank Jared and Corey for moving forward some of these things that we have going on in the community. It's not easy work to, in some situations, and some it's, people are compliant. So I want to thank them for kind of spearheading that, getting that through. So, any questions for Corey on the nuisance issue or minutes? No.
I just think we ought to thank Reggie for getting right on that.
He did.
And making it happen.
Yep.
He didn't mess around at all.
Yes, he did. So, committee reports, there's a police, fire, and EMS committee report in your packet. Any questions and concerns on that?
Estimated projection of 470,000, that just seems a lot higher than what I remember. It was like 286, 290,000. I thought it was like 370-ish or 375. I'm not sure where
Do you remember?
470.
That was the number got from Jill, right? That's what she's guessing it at?
For fire and EMS.
Okay.
For fire and EMS?
Yes.
Okay, not just EMS.
So what's just the EMS part?
There's no division.
They just split up the money. I mean, they all work on their budget off of that.
Well, so how much is going to EMS and how much is going to fire? I'd like to know, when we get numbers, what's accurate.
Will it come in ordinance form, or will we see those numbers and vote on it at some point?
Yeah.
Not until March though, correct?
No,
No.
This is the budget.
Cash.
Yeah, when we do the budget.
Oh, you're talking about, okay.
That's
I
when-
thought you were
that's when we
talking
get the
about,
money.
yes, when we get it.
First payment.
I'm still confused, when they do their budgets, who's taking it? The one that's shared?
Well, I have to do it in the finance, which we haven't even met yet. We're gonna meet on the 24th.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the first meeting.
So 470 is not an accurate number.
Well, it's an estimated projection.
Yeah, for
That's
the whole
estimated.
department.
Well, and everybody has to actually pay their taxes to get that projection.
Correct.
But this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the way it's worked for years. And then you've got to get projections. They work on their budgets and split up the money based on what they've spent, needed, wants and needs throughout the year. And you work with them directly to help them distinguish that. I'm sure Bruce will elaborate a little bit more on what's going on with the EMS stuff. So, any other questions about these minutes? Okay. Administrators report.
I want to say a couple things. I did get the email, Rachel, thank you for the response from the personnel. He's not here, from the personnel stuff. And then we also probably need to finalize street, water, sewer, all the rates now that we have. So probably to set up a meeting for both those sometime soon.
Good. You're reporting.
Oh, okay. As you see, the electrical work, we're still waiting on some components to come in. Really, it's the electrical panel. It's got a ship date October 13th for the splash pad. They're wanting to set a temporary panel to get everything up and running, check everything. What comes with the cost? $3,500.
For the temporary?
Yes.
Isn't it kind of their fault that we don't have these things?
It's their fault. I mean, it's just a material shortage or delayed, whatever. I can't remember the exact name of the panel.
Can they do that in the spring?
We could,
Start
I
it
mean,
up.
it can set that way, the way it is. I know everybody thinks it's so far behind schedule, but, because they don't see any fixtures. The fixtures have all been here in that parking lot, and they're gone, they're away from the park. That's a one-day job to get the fixtures.
Is the warranty, when does it start running?
Once we sign off on everything.
And they're gonna go until next spring sometime?
If we wait until spring to sign off on it, then it is what it is. If it's not completed, we can't sign off on it. So, down there, I don't know how many people have been down there, but if you look, when you pull up to it, it looks like it kind of sets in a hole on the north side there towards the baseball field. And their scope of work, that grading wasn't getting done, which I found out a week ago when I had a little run around with them. They're only grading to that, like, silt fence there. Well, I have issues with how deep that swale is on the backside of it. I was down there with Quinn the other day, showing him what I think we need to do and backfill some of that. And regrade all that to the baseball field, because that's where the old volleyball court was, so it was like a great big hump there. As you go to the baseball field, it tapers back down. They shot me a price back last week of like $8,000 to regrade all that up there. And JDY is going to, he looked at it today, he's gonna give me a price to regrade all that, so the appearance will look a lot flatter than what it is, but we'll get a lot less runoff as well.
I hope they get most of that hump out of there. That makes it look even worse with that concrete down in that hole.
On the north side there? Correct, that's what I'm talking about, yep. And then the reservoir next to the building, there'll be a change order for that. There's a tab that sticks up out of that lid.
Mm-hmm.
And it sticks up about that high, it's about 1.5 inches wide. It ain't gonna work for us. They gotta put a type of locking system on it. It's flush, because it's right there on your way to the restrooms. And you know somebody's gonna really wrap their foot on that. We are meeting with AEP there tomorrow. I told them I think we're absolutely fine going with what we have for service down there. As long as the panels are marked, we use certified electricians. If they need to come in there and add a circuit down the road, I don't foresee that being an issue. But AEP doesn't know if the transformers that are down there will be able to supply power to that pump house, splash pad, and with the future pool. So that's what they're gonna come down tomorrow and take a look at. Hopefully there's enough on that pole to do everything we want to do. Corson was in and they ran all the wiring, the cameras, everything's sitting there ready to go. And once power's put to the building, they'll finish up their cameras there. All the picnic tables are put together and they're up there at the Parks building. What else we got for the park here? Waiting to order new bathroom partitions for the pavilion. Get rid of those old wood ones that are all swelled up. It's like 62 or 6,400. We'll do our own demo. It'll save us like $1,200 to do the demo work.
On the pavilion, there was a question at the last meeting. Does anybody remember who had that question
It
about
was about hanging.
Did you guys get your answers to that?
I talked to him.
Okay.
The Parks building, Gary and Val's building back there, it's called the Parks building.
Okay.
I did get a couple estimates to have a spray foam. Because if we do go with a full-time person and they're gonna be there a little later in the winter, there's no sense in trying to heat it because it's not insulated. I had two numbers come back, Nye Insulation out of Edgerton, they were $20,407, and Momper was $15,923. It's 2 inches of foam, closed cell foam. It'd be all the walls, underside of the ceiling and everything in that building.
How big is the building?
I don't remember how big it is.
Ballpark.
40 by 60 or 80, yeah, 60, 80, somewhere in there.
Are those new quotes that aren't included in your budget for next year? Did you just get them in the last week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That wouldn't be the whole building, that'd just be the shop area.
Yes, but I don't know when that building was built, but it's kind of weird because you got your offices and it's all insulated. There's a furnace that sits on top of that, like mezzanine in there. Gas line ran to it, gas line stubbed out of the building. 2 foot from there's a gas line coming up out of the ground, it's padlocked off, the gas company. Furnace has never ran. It's all hooked up, all the flex ducts there, all the ceiling diffusers are in, the returns are in.
I think they use electric space.
And they put baseboard heaters in it.
Oh, God.
So the furnace has never been ran?
No, it's never ever been ran. It's never had a gas meter.
Is there a code on when it was manufactured, the furnace?
Haven't gotten that far.
Oh, man.
But what I'd like to see, get a spray foam, we just hang like a Resner gas heater back there, let it hang from the ceiling to heat the shop. But I'd have somebody come out and go through that furnace to see if it's, I would assume it's still safe.
Do they winterize the shop, or are those baseboard heaters active over the winter?
Baseboard heaters are active in the winter, but that's just in the office,
Office bathroom area.
that conference room area.
There's
Nobody's working.
Nothing makes heat any more expensive than electric heaters.
Park board used to be every month.
Yes, and you've been in there, you've seen what it does to the walls.
So there's an AEP meter out there, but it's not being used in the winter at all, and we're heating it.
The offices, no, they'd probably stay about 50 degrees or so.
The guy that did my building, foamed my building, he beat one of those people you said by half.
Yeah, it was Momper and I, was the two quotes I got.
Is that something you want to get done yet this year?
Well, this would be something that would happen next year before next year's budget. We're not ready to move forward with a park director.
I think they shut the water off and everything to their bathrooms in the wintertime, don't they? They shut everything down
Yes.
just in case.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Then over the next couple of weeks, I'll order some concrete blocks to build the salt bunker down there at the wastewater treatment plant. We'll have probably about $2,800 for hauling and all the blocks. I think there's 55 of them that'll take. And then I'll have a roof over it.
Does the state use the one that's down there at that building that we have part of?
This big old wood building there.
Yeah, the old
Yeah,
salt.
Yeah, they keep all kinds of stuff in there. The
They-
county does.
They use
County-
the
county.
bins, the salt bin that was there, they use that?
Yeah, that's what they use, that in that front building. We don't even go in there anymore. I told Warren that we don't even mow it anymore. I think, yes, when his guys come and mow it.
So wasn't that originally given to the village?
Hey,
The back half was.
yeah, it's just an old lean-to building that he wouldn't lose any sleep over it. Did the income survey letters, I know have went out, I've had some people reach out to me about them. That's for the Defiance Avenue project. So with the new census information that came back, the town itself is not really CDBG eligible. So it's all going to be like project specific, site specific to these projects. So whatever area Defiance Avenue affects is where these letters went out. That's all I got.
All right, any questions for Corey?
Did you have a grant for Defiance Avenue, or did that come and go?
We wrote it and we didn't get it, which we thought we'd have a really good chance with it, but all the money that was allocated for Defiance County, which was
Oh, went to
2 million something, went to
Evansville.
Evansville for like 270 people, so we got nothing.
Nice try.
Yeah.
We'll get the next one. All right.
Well, we're up, like I said, we wrote the OPWC, that one, we wrote, I don't know how much it was, 400,000, 700,000. And we're going for like 400,000 with the CDBG. Worst case scenario, if we don't get it, go for a 0 interest EPA loan, plus the cash that we have on hand.
All right, thanks, Corey. Moving along, solicitors report here, we've got some final readings.
First one, final reading of ordinance 2024-15 by caption only, prohibiting the establishment, operation of recreational marijuana cultivators, processors, and retail dispensaries within the village limits.
Now, before we start voting, so I don't make any mistake, how do you vote if you want to allow it to happen?
Vote no.
Vote no on this.
Okay. Proceed.
Need a motion, don't we?
I'll move.
I'll second it.
Roll call?
Bailey?
No.
Bassett?
This is just a, no.
Beverly?
No.
Egley?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
That's a tie. That's my first tie. It's a big one.
Well, be careful.
Huh?
Be careful.
Well, I thought about it, and if it came to this point and the situation and everything, but I would be, yes.
Or what?
I
Pardon me?
said no.
I said yes.
Okay. Next one, final reading of resolution 2024-13 by caption only for recovery of monies expended for indigent legal case.
So moved.
Second. Roll call?
Beverly?
Yep.
Miller?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Bassett?
Yes.
Egley? Yes. Bailey?
Yes.
First reading of resolution 2024-21 by caption only to apply for OTSCIF grant and declaring emergency.
Explain that one a little bit.
Yeah, that's the Ohio Senate, that's the $750,000.
Full grant.
I move you suspend the rules.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Bailey?
Yes.
Bassett?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yep.
Egley?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
You remember what that stood for, Cheryl?
Huh?
You remember what that stood for? Was it like transportation, safety, something, something? That was weird.
A lot of acronyms.
3 pages long.
Second and final reading of resolution 2024-21 by caption only to apply for OTSCIF grant and declaring emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Miller?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Bassett?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yeah.
Egley?
Yes.
And it looks like we need a motion to accept the 2025 local government fund money.
I'll move that one.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Roll call?
For the 9,300,
93,000.
93,000?
Yeah.
Change your prescription.
I was just thinking of my bank account.
Yeah. At least you got to that.
Okay. Roll call.
Yeah, I second roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Egley?
Yes.
Bassett?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
That's it for you?
Yes, I guess, I don't know if you're gonna bring it up or not, but I did meet with Mark Warnicki last week. And I think we finalized the agreement with, American Tower.
Wow.
And so he sent it off back to their legal counsel.
Good thing we hired you.
Yeah, 3 years later.
Oh, man.
Well, it's still not done deal.
Yeah,
Well,
so
but-
we need to hear back.
We have movement.
We have movement. Motion of the
Yeah,
motion.
yeah.
But thanks, Rachel. I know it was back and forth a little bit with the 2 attorneys and stuff, so thank you for meeting with them and getting it finalized.
Yeah.
Hopefully they accept it, we can move forward.
Do you get tough with it?
Would you just say pretty please?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably what I would say.
Perfect.
What is this?
That's part of the.
This.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you for that. Department head reports, Chief Denning's not here tonight. Fisher, you got anything?
He told me to take care of it, we got nothing.
Okay, thank you.
Well, don't screw it up.
Bruce? Or, Derek, who wants to go first? Pick one, I'll go.
Hello, I don't have a whole lot. No new business. The only new business I have our engine is down. One of our engines are down, out of service. It's gonna be taken over to Brown's Trucking over here on Jericho to be looked at. It was spewing antifreeze and stuff and smoking through the cab of the engine, so it's now currently replaced with 503, which was our reserve engine. So other than that, I'll find out more after they look at it tomorrow morning and see what's going on as far as maintenance goes. Outside of that, I'm making slow progress with the unit, with the gear. I did speak with a lady today, or gentleman today, about turnout gear. She's gonna give me a call back tomorrow, personally on my cell phone, if I'm not in the office. As far as setting up a date and time, I've already sent her the information about the gear that I need or how much of it. Their turnaround time, which is great. They said 60 to 90 days after they come and measure out, which is phenomenal because the last group of gear that we got was like over a year turnaround time from the time these guys were outfitted. So a year and a half versus 60 days, 60 to 70 days is amazing. Other than that, I'm just working on some of the stuff being up to maintenance and getting inspected over there, like our compressor. They're gonna come in October and service that again. So that's on the schedule to make sure everything is where it needs to be on the fire side. Other than that, I don't have any new business as far as fire department goes on the fire side. But we did have one more recruit, one more guy pass his test, so we're still waiting on 2 gentlemen out of 11 to test again. So we have now 9 of 11 who have successfully passed. So we're still waiting on 2 more individuals to be successful. As far as the new recruits, I made some slow movement with making some calls for more training for these guys as far as the burn building goes. But their dates are not set in a few places that I called, or a couple of places I called. So they're supposed to return my call sometime this week as well, so I could get that moving, so we could implement some training for some of the newer guys and the seasoned guys, so for everybody really. Other than that, unless y'all have any questions, as far as on the fire side, I don't have any.
I have a quick question. How do you feel you're doing delegating responsibilities? Because you're a busy guy, I know you're chief and you got a lot of experience, but
Okay.
with a young family and a swing shift, how do you feel like you're delegating?
Now, the real answer to that is I haven't had to do a lot of delegating because the officers and a few other firemen have kind of taken that on.
So they've stepped up to the plate.
They've kind of stepped up and they've said, hey, this is what we're going to do as far as that goes. So like the nuisance thing, I was unable to be there. So this deputy chief stepped in, was in on that meeting with the nuisance thing. So there's a lot of things that are being done that they're saying, hey, we'll take care of it due to your floppy work schedule or however the case may be. But to give you a grade on that, I think I'm doing very well, but I'm also trying to take on some of that responsibility myself because I believe as, I guess, a leader or somebody in my position, that delegation comes with all of us and not just certain people.
Right.
So
Yeah, you got a lot of years on that force, and you know, with your experience in Columbus, that's awesome. I would think about, you know, if somebody's doing really well with something, let them continue to spearhead it and then report back. So you have, you know, trust in them, and if there's a learning opportunity for you, take advantage of that.
I'm not opposed.
No, I know you're not. It's just,
Yeah.
this is just friendly advice. It's
Oh,
not,
yeah,
I'm
well,
not,
since-
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, well,
you
since
know.
day one,
Yeah.
when I took the position,
Mhm.
I had a conversation with all the association,
Uh-huh.
telling what my vision was,
Okay.
what my plan was. There was talk about, people thought since I'm an outsider that I was gonna come and turn Hicksville upside down, but I have no intentions on necessarily changing what Hicksville used to do.
Oh, yeah, for
You know what I'm
sure.
saying?
And I've been really impressed with the recruiting.
But I do want to change the culture.
Okay.
I won't stray from that. I do want to change the culture
Uh-huh.
in some ways to kind of make it better. But I have no intentions on bringing big city to here
Yep.
because there's a lot that I need to learn about the country
Yeah.
or the rural areas because I am a city boy.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
So I've been all ears with everybody who has said, hey, this is how we do it out here in the sticks
Right.
versus however.
Yeah. See, I'm a country boy. And my wife wanted to move to the village, and here I am.
So, with all that being said, I've been all ears the whole time.
Uh-huh.
Now, a closed mouth don't get fed. That's a silly analogy that I use. So, I want that input. I want that constructive criticism if I was to be criticized.
Okay.
Tell me what I need to know. Tell me what I can do to help. Be a part of the solution and not the problem, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I've tried to branch to everybody else. So it's more of a thing of, let's lead together, you know what I'm saying? I try to embrace that togetherness. I don't shine without you guys and vice versa. You know, I'm not the only one in this. I want us to all look good together. You know, and that's what I've been trying to embrace. So hopefully everybody sooner or later will want to embrace the same vision that I have. You know, so.
I got Derek.
I got 2 questions. The grant for the truck, are we moving, where are we at with that? I completely.
I left a message with Mr. Smith not too long ago because he didn't answer, but the last I knew, Charlie and either or Tony had the last conversations with him.
Yeah.
I have not physically talked to him over the phone since their last interactions.
We have to finalize sometime in October the ladder length of the truck. So we have to decide, you know, are we doing 75, 100, or 107? I think we need to look at possible future development, you know, the spec building, what are we gonna need there? Because 75 foot, if the building's 75 foot tall, 75 foot ladder ain't gonna cut it. You know, and where is that gonna be parked? And then the rural side of it, you know, the chicken farm, for example. Chicken farm goes up, how tall do we need? Where can it park? What if it goes up in the winter? Is the ground gonna be frozen? Is the ground gonna be soft? You know, there's a lot of.
I don't know, I have my personal thoughts about it. I think that personally, if I had to go on a limb right now, I think 75 would suit the bill. You know what I mean? And I only say that because Defiant City, they got a few other buildings or however the case may be.
Okay.
And I've talked to a couple rural departments up near the Toledo area, like Springfield and those surrounding areas, who also just got recent quits as well. And out of those few that I spoke with, 3 of the 4 went with 75. But everybody covers a different area or district.
Yeah.
However, I'm not saying 100 or 107 might not be needed for some departments.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
And we have to keep the truck for the serviceable life, and it's either 20 or 30 years. I can't recall which number. 25. Sorry, that's why I couldn't.
Yes.
So we have to think about, you know, we're gonna keep that, and we have to maintain it and use it for the 25 years.
Yeah.
You know, are we gonna need more than 75 foot?
Yeah, so.
If right now we don't need it, and we don't see any future development where we would need, and the 75 foot's gonna be easier to get.
I would say,
It's gonna be less expensive.
like I said, if I had to go on a limb now, 75 would be what I would think would be suitable for the village as far as that goes.
Okay.
I wouldn't go max over 100. I wouldn't go 107. I don't really think that
Okay.
is needed for what we have here.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's just my personal opinion as far as investigating and looking at all the things around. Again, that's my opinion.
Okay.
So whether that comes to fruition or not, you know,
I didn't know if there was a window for that grant, if there was a certain time period, or if we have to submit that.
No, I think we already got the ball rolling, so really he's just waiting for that window. There was no deadline when we had talked to him, so.
Yeah.
um,
He's got it rolling, and, you
Yeah.
know, if 75 is the answer, I can give it to him, but.
But I'm due to go to Defiance. I talked to Defiance's chief.
Okay.
They got a newer chief. They got 75 foot just
Yeah.
recently.
Pick their brain and see, oh, so
Yeah,
Defiance got a 75 foot.
Yes.
Who got the 100 or?
Who got the 107?
Yeah, I thought somebody got I thought Defiance got the big ladder.
Well, he,
Maybe
at least,
that-
unless I'm misinterpreted,
Okay.
he told me that they didn't go with the longest one. Now, there was one up near Toledo who went with a 107.
Right, but that's.
Yes, that was
For some
suburban
reason, I was
area.
thinking that you had indicated that you thought, you weren't swearing to it, but that you thought that Defiance went 100.
Well, again, when I
Check
talked
on
to
that
him, as far as the city goes, because we were talking about the bigger buildings, like the Menards and the
Oh,
Lowe's that
yeah,
are there,
yep.
and that sort of thing.
Okay.
As far as what they would need, as far as extending over the building, because in those type of buildings, they're gonna be fighting overhead in the bucket, shooting the water down below.
Yeah.
they probably wouldn't be having a rescue up on top of their roof, as far as extending that way.
Yeah.
So with fighting fire, theirs is more gonna be hanging down and fighting fire that way, and it will extend more than what they need.
Defiance has 100-footer.
Yeah, they got a 100-footer in February.
So it's,
Okay.
yeah, so it's 100, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like you said, Menards and, they got a
Yeah,
lot
so I'm
more
just being
buildings.
some of those
Okay.
bigger buildings, those commercial structures.
So do you still feel 75 for the village?
Well, I say as far as the village go, I think
Right.
75 would be substantial. Like, We
Okay.
took High Street
Uh-huh.
outside of Haley Enterprises,
Right.
you know what I mean, and some of these other buildings. That's as tall as, we don't need anything that's going to be that's substantial above that, you
Yeah,
know what I
so
mean?
The American Building, the grain elevator, everything out there with the chicken farm, between their grain bins and their buildings, you'd need all you can get out there.
You're right, but in that situation, we have
You
to
can
think
call.
about, even though we can't project it, but how often, would it be worth it, like, you said grain bin and the egg farm.
Does anybody know if the engineer's office has the heights of these buildings?
There for a while,
Because I would think
fire hall was getting their mail out to the chicken farm for that one grain bin, it just kept lighting up.
Yeah, well, since I've been on the department before being in this position, I haven't responded to any
Right.
green bin fire.
A fire that size, you would have to call backup anyways, right?
mutual aid.
Yes,
I
we're
would think.
mutual aid with
So.
Farmer and, yeah. So if push came to shove, outside old Betsy over here, Defiance would be the one who would have
Okay.
the ladder truck,
Uh-huh.
and they would come to us
Right.
if we needed that extension
Okay.
or something higher.
Yeah.
So that's our last minute,
Okay.
backup as far as a ladder truck. Let's say we didn't have one.
Mm-hmm.
But they would be the closest that would bring their ladders. Now, Washington, they have a ladder truck, but theirs, I think, is just as old as ours. I don't know
Okay.
how often it moves,
Mm-hmm.
but their Defiance is the closest as far as
Okay.
a ladder truck or aerial, however you want to call it.
Let me ask you a question that you probably don't know the answer, but,
I'll find it.
yeah.
Yeah, you will.
Settle down. On that truck that you said with the antifreeze problem,
Yes.
was any chance, did anybody notice, is the smoke coming out of the tailpipe, the exhaust pipes, or is it just under the cab?
Well, they took off and went on a run the other day,
Coming
and
up,
it's coming through the inside of the cab like smoking. We have a little department inside where there's a back crew that sits in the back, and then you have the driver and the captain. So there's a center section that's there. And so with the antifreeze and everything leaking and overheating, it start coming through to inside the cab. So like the smoke start coming
but
through.
it's not
that
coming
way.
out the pipes.
Well, the pipes won't affect us inside, but.
Well, no, but that tells me there's no internal damage to the engine. You've got
Yeah,
a
well-
hose broke somewhere.
Yeah, the mechanics ain't my deal, so I'll be the first to tell you,
That
hey.
just answered a $2,000-3,000 question.
Yeah, well, I hope I answered it, but
Yeah,
you send me to a mechanic or you send a car to me, it ain't gonna get fixed. You know what I'm saying? So, that's
You had
where I'm
the
at
answer.
with that. Okay, so, other than that, I don't have anything.
thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Chief.
Derek.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bruce?
Few things. First of all, I made a post on Facebook, and I wanted to say it in the council. And I wanted to say thank you to the citizens of Hicksville for the new ambulance and to the village council, you know. We have been running out of it. I'm sure you guys have been seeing it quite often. It is a very nice piece of machinery, very nice ambulance. I'd recommend you coming for a ride, but some of you might want to just hop on the stretcher. I will have to take it out to, I am going to take it out to Schmidt's. As on our first run, and I did not know this, on our first run, I had left it running and I come out and it was off and the check engine light was on, and I went, oh God, Ron's gonna kill me. But no, it's got an automatic shut off, which I did not know. Now, when the lights are on, it doesn't have that. So I'm gonna take it out to Schmidt's and see if they can't reprogram it to not have that problem. Because if we're on a lengthy fire, say in the winter, that can't happen. So.
We still under warranty, right?
Yeah, it's still under warranty.
Okay,
It's still under warranty.
No deductible?
No. Ask her.
Okay.
And while we're at it, we're gonna have 510 looked at. 510 was just starting a little hard, you know, taking a little time to start.
Did you guys get the oil changed?
Yeah, oh
Okay.
yeah, yeah, we've been on top of that. And I did get an idea of when to get the oil changed on the new squad. Yeah, I did talk to Brian and Troy. Is that his name? Troy. Talked to both of them, and they're recommending, you know, 3,000 to 5,000, you know, roughly, just because of we do set and it idles a lot. So we do have that. The fuel mileage on it seems to be really good. It does ride really well, especially in the back. You're not feeling the bumps like you do on 510. So, you know, it is a really good unit. A couple things during the PFE meeting I brought up, you know, wanting to look at a couple new cardiac monitors. Those are 60,000 a piece. I have talked to Stryker, and they did say that they would, you know, give us a trade-in value. They wouldn't give me a exact amount, but so that's something. And I know Tony had said, is that something that we can budget, you know, one for 1 year and one for the next? And absolutely, you know, that's we don't have to have them both at the same time. We have been going through a lot of supplies. And I do mean a lot of supplies this week. Last week, we went through $1,500 worth of supplies. So, for your information, we are close to $270,000 billed for the year, with some of that coming back to us. Finally, starting to see some of that Medicaid money. So, yeah, it is a process. It is taking some time. So, we do have our advanced class is next door right now, and our basic class is in. They're in Defiance because they're at the South Richland station. The class had close to 30 people in it, so they had to split the class. And so we got that. I started my instructor class today, so there's a lot of classes going on right now. Our medical director will be here tomorrow. So if any of you are so inclined, he will be here from 6 to 8. And if we do have a call, he'll probably do it right along. I did get supper for tomorrow, so you know, I got lupitas coming, so.
For us?
No, but but if you guys want to come by, I ordered plenty, so I ordered plenty for you guys. Saturday we did a training with the NWEMS. It was on drowning and airway. Mike was there for a little bit. Everybody that attended got 1.5 credit, continuing education credits. So, and finally,
Two goes off?
no.
Oh.
Finally, there are times that, as a leader, you need to make hard decisions. I am going to continue to run as a full-time paramedic, but effective immediately, I am no longer the EMS chief. Thank you.
Oh, oh. Can we have an explanation, Bruce?
If you want to go into executive session, I will give you one.
Oh, I think we need to do that.
Sure. You want to wait till the end of the council?
Okay, okay. Can you stick around?
Thank you, Chief.
Alrighty, think if anybody else got that going on. Part Val called, they could not be here tonight, so we will move on. Oh, about the EMS real quick, we'll bring that up now, is the squad went on, the old squad went to auction, right?
Yes.
And it was finalized Friday night. I think the top bid was $8,600.
Yeah.
We have the right to either accept that bid and move forward, just sell it, or I called Ron today with Corey and talked to Jared. If they all kind of work, Bruce, I mean, they put it up there. Do we want to not accept the bid or try to resell it or let it go?
I think we let it go. I mean, what's
I
our,
think get rid of it, get the money.
what's the alternative?
So the money's gonna go into that, Cheryl, correct me if I'm wrong, it's gonna go back into that fund that's
For assets.
for assets, okay?
I put stuff on gov bids before, gov deals, and it's gotten very low. I'm like $50, and I just had them re-put it back on there, and the next time around I got $2,000.
Right.
But, I mean, that's substantial, I mean, it's a decent.
That'd be my suggestion is either sell it as is or relist it. I mean, we don't have an alternative.
Ron, what do you
a
think?
public auction, get $1,000
I think it needs relisted, and I think it needs,
I mean,
more
what do we want to get?
definition.
We were hoping like 15 to 20,000, but we can hope in one hand and the other, but.
What if the person that bid
Send it down the road,
$8,600
$8,600
bid? You could end up with nothing, or less.
Chance it to.
I'd say sell it and be done.
Well, we followed the bids a little bit. It was kind of easy to follow. There was two different people bidding, and they kind of always ramp up at the end. It didn't happen. I mean, when you were watching and everything.
Yeah,
so.
Jared had showed you the comps.
Yeah, comp-wise to a national, huh?
What were the comps?
They're right here, they're in here somewhere, so.
Anywhere from 2,300 to 23,000.
Oh, man.
So it averaged out with everything that they give us from the year, the time it was sold, the mileage, they were all 08s or 09s. I mean, they were anywhere from $550 up to $23,000. But if you wanna
Make a
look at
motion
it-
to accept the bid.
Second.
You guys gotta remember, I mean, act like you're pulling this money out of your own pocket, not just taxpayers' money. We spent $12,000 to $15,000 on that thing, and then bring it back here and oh yeah, 8,600, that's a deal.
So what do you suggest we do?
Is it runnable?
Sure, it's
not.
runnable.
So then why aren't we using them? I mean, I'm not knocking EMS, but why are we getting rid of it if it's usable?
Well, we had a couple people that said that they would quit if they had to use it.
It just has a long history of mechanical
That's
issues.
what I mean.
But we had
Just kept fixing
everything redone. The wiring was completely redone. The engine, we took it out there for some stuff, and then they ended up, except for bearings, they rebuilt the thing.
So we let it sit and it continues to depreciate, and we might get a lower bid next time. I mean,
Meanwhile,
you
he
can't-
spent time putting it online, so has Jared, we're paying them too, and that number's just getting higher. Just get rid of that.
But nothing was listed as what was done to that truck.
No, nothing was listed, and there was 9 pictures.
So on public record on what was wrong with it, and the force almost shut down with it. And I wouldn't trust the darn thing.
I wouldn't be afraid to go to California.
I wouldn't either.
Buy it.
Are you the buyer?
Yeah.
It'd be different
Bob
if you
says
guys
he'll give us
pulled this out of your
87.
own pockets, I'll guarantee you that.
I wouldn't put the money in to begin with, Ron, if it, to be honest, I wouldn't have been putting money into it.
Mayor,
But-
first and second, you want to vote?
Well, like I said, there's a motion out there.
We let it sit, we're gonna have to insure
You
it.
got a motion first and second, so let's
Yep.
get this thing over with.
Ready?
Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Egley? Yes.
It's the motion to
Motion
sell it.
Motion to sell it.
Right,
as
okay.
per
I
current.
just wanted to make
Sell it,
sure.
right?
Yep.
No.
Martin?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Okay.
So thank you. We are to the fiscal report. I wanted to bring that up. Fiscal report?
I have one.
You don't have one.
I have my usual fund status report, and I have the August police department and mayor's court report.
Cheryl, what's this? MBS?
That's not supposed to be in there.
It'll
That's-
self-destruct.
That's an actually investment income that's somehow stuck in there, but anyway.
I would like to mention, in case you guys see it when we leave here, that corner for Premier Bank, that our light bulb there was hit right before council, so there'll be an orange barrel there. I don't know if we'll go get another light bulb. Pretty certain they're gonna be obsolete, so.
There's an AET pole.
No,
No,
those
those
green
green
ones.
ones?
And when you get to your report, you need to set trick or treat.
Oh, yeah.
One, that's my report, yeah.
Eric?
Corey, how old are those lights?
2001,
Pretty old.
when we did the downtown.
That's old for lights?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a fund for those, isn't there? We get assessed a very small, few dollars per tax bill, right?
Yeah,
They don't have it. They don't have any streetlights.
yeah, the street light fund paid for that.
Okay.
Unless you want to.
No, I can't even find the little parts for it.
Does anybody have any questions for Cheryl?
Nope.
Yep. I'll do my mayor's report real quick and then we can go into executive session. Again, I set the village Halloween is Saturday, October 26th. It is 5 to 7, I believe, in town. And a lot of the churches, different organizations, the schools got activities going on.
4 to 6.
Does it 4 to 6? Okay, I was
usually
just guessing. I don't trick or treat.
4 to 6.
Is it 4 to 6? That's fine. Change the date.
Days are shorter.
Is it? All right, you can't be out there in the dark.
Yeah.
4 to 6, work with
Saturday, right?
Yeah,
Saturday.
Yeah.
So, it's October 26th to Saturday, 4 to 6. I want to thank United Way, the schools and local organizations to helping with the backpack program. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but it actually provides food for the kids on weekends to take home. I think they were up to 60 different kids that they provide that meals and different opportunities for. So those different organizations come together and pack those backpacks for the kids. I don't know if everybody got the email today. I invited everybody to the site visit, the Caduce property with Justin Kuhn on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. If you want to be there, show up there at the property there behind Casa Grande. So that's this Wednesday at 11. We're touring that, kind of looking at the property as possibly a housing development, and also he invited us over to look at his little development he's currently undergoing and working on that. So
Mike, I did not receive said email.
you didn't? Okay. It's Wednesday, that's why I brought it up tonight, I'm sorry. So Wednesday at 11. I know with some people's work schedule, it's tough to do, so. If you can make it, great. If you can't, we understand, we'll do a follow-up with that, so. And again, I keep bringing this up, but the two properties we do have on Antwerp Drive and Oak Park, I keep having people, especially Antwerp Drive, wanting us to see if we'd be willing to sell, auction it off, those properties for housing development and/or some opportunities for them. So I don't know if the streetlight property, ever want to look into that, or we keep mowing them and maintaining them. So,
Well, the one till you get an answer from Rachel.
Rob, I just sent a screenshot of it to you.
That's fine.
Okay.
You might want to talk to Troy about Oak Park, you know, have the history of that.
Okay.
I mean, until that gets cleared up, you can't sell it, so that's a non-issue.
I know we've talked about keeping it, using it maybe down the road for some different things, but I know there's some people want to maybe put some lots on it, sell it, kind of thing, so they can discuss that. That's all I have.
I move we go into executive session. Oh, wait a minute. Dirk, you got anything?
Oh, speaking, Turk reminded me real quick, another quick thing is, churches Growing God's Way is kicking off. They had a party down at the park. Over 200 kids showed up. They work with the schools and providing Christian things for the kids to learn about. A lot of the churches do the Wednesday night programs in town. I encourage parents and the kids to take advantage of that and reach out to the churches that are doing the special program at their church and also Growing God's Way. So I wanted to bring that up. It reminded me you were a big instrumental part of Growing God's Way. So thank you for that. And that's it.
I move we go into executive session to discuss personnel.
I'll second.
Kicking me out of here.
Accepting resignation. It just says must be specific, so that's what I'm, I'll second that.
Roll call.
Bailey?
Yep.
Bassett?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yep.
Miller?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Egley?
Yes.